Hello, everyone.
Hi everyone, today we are chatting with Myra, the founder of Earthbound Farm, which is one of Stephanie and my favorite organic brands. I had the opportunity to meet Myra in person this fall. I went out actually to California to meet them on their farm and literally fell in love with all of their products and just seeing what goes on behind the scenes, going into the factory and going onto the farms, and just honestly going in and seeing how clean everything was and how nice everyone was, and the meaning behind what they're doing, and how they're bringing organic into all of our homes. So I want to introduce Myra, and I want her to talk to you a little bit about how she got started and really how she's brought this incredible business to be such a huge success, and really, I think, one of the best organic, or the best organic brand in the United States. So take
Oh,
it away, Myra.
yes. Amy, you're so sweet. It was so nice to have you on the farm. Well, Earthbound Farm, this is our 30th anniversary. So,
Wow.
it's a long story, but I think the part of it that people find most remarkable is that both Drew and I are from Manhattan. We're city kids, and we landed on this little 2.5-acre raspberry farm in Carmel Valley when I was just 20 and my husband was 24. And it was just going to be for a year before we started our real careers and went to graduate school. And what happened was we didn't know anything about farming. We bought our produce in the supermarket. You don't see chemicals that are used to farm on the produce. You don't smell them or taste them. And so the outgoing farmer taught us how to farm the raspberries and when to spray the herbicides and when to spray the insecticides and the fungicides. And when it was time for us to use the chemicals, we just felt like it was scary, and we didn't want to grow food using these chemicals or eat food with these chemicals. And we made the commitment to be organic. And 30 years later, Earthbound Farm has grown to be the largest grower of organic produce in North America. Never expected that.
That is amazing. And one of the stories that I love that you told is how you started the little conveyor belt in your living room, how to dry the lettuce, and that whole thing. I love that story.
Well, the reason why Earthbound Farm, I think, got so big so fast is because we were actually the first company to successfully sell packaged salads for retail. And we did it. We were growing these little baby lettuces for a few upscale restaurants. And we figured out that we would eat salad all the time if we had pre-washed salad in our refrigerator. But if we had to go out and harvest it and wash it and dry it, we hardly ever ate salad. So we always thought this would be such a great product. And so once we started trying to sell the product, we had to turn our living room of our little 800 square foot house into our salad packing plant. And we built a little shed outside our house. And that's where we washed the salad eventually, and then brought it into our living room and packed the salad in our living room. And we were actually packing salad in our living room. We started the salads in '86, and we didn't move out to our first kind of real facility till '92. So there was a long time where my living room was our salad packing plant.
That
Hey,
I love it.
Laura,
I
a
absolutely
a
love
quick
it.
thing from your TED Talk, your TEDx Manhattan talk, which was fabulous, by the way, and I included a link down below. Education is such a big part of like what Amy and I talk about, but there was one thing that you said that literally blew my mind was the proportion of organic farms to the rest of like the country. It was actually a really small number.
It is. It is. It's less than 1% of the farmland in this country is organic.
Yeah. That blew my mind. Like,
I know. It's so little. It's so little. 4.2% of food sales in this country is organic. But it's actually, no one has actually calculated in terms of volume because organic food costs more. So really the percentage of food that's sold that's organic is going to be less than 4.2%.
wow. That just
Crazy.
also blew my mind.
It really, the other thing too, getting back to education, you know, before, I have a huge health story, and that's the reason that I went and, did organic. Same with Stephanie, but I was never educated. I mean, I grew up in middle class, well-educated parents, but we never ate organic, and they didn't even understand why to go organic until I did the research and figured this out. And the same thing, with what I'm doing with my career now is trying to educate people on how toxic pesticides are, because it never clicked in my head. Like, I had no idea. I thought you could just rinse it off and it was fine, but people don't realize pesticides are inside the food and how toxic they are, and now what they're doing to our DNA and cells and all these different things, and how toxic they can be, sitting in the tissues of our bodies. And if we're not excreting them out, which a lot of us can't do for medical reasons, it's really dangerous.
Right. I think that most Americans kind of believe that the government is protecting us, and that if something is allowed to be used on our food or used in our sunscreen or used in our cleaning product, it's got to be safe for us. And the truth is that that's really not the case most of the time. And even some of the most scary chemicals that are still in our system, in the environment, like DDT, those weren't outlawed until it was proven that they were causing a lot of harm. I mean, people use that all the time. I hear stories about kids running out when the DDT was being sprayed on the field so that they'd be covered by it and wouldn't get bit by mosquitoes for hours. So I think that there's kind of this shift in America now. I know I haven't seen the movie yet, Fed Up, but with all of this conversation about how unhealthy the food is in this country and how addictive it is, and how so many of these food companies, they're really just trying to sell as much of their product as possible. It's not really about ensuring the health of their customers. And I think people are starting to question more and more and realize that we have to educate ourselves, and we're the only ones that can really protect ourselves, protect our family, and really advocate for ourselves.
Yeah, you just said that absolutely perfectly. When I was still in corporate America and very sick, I remember saying to myself, the government would never put out a food that would bother me, even like Splenda. And yep. I was like, the government would never allow something that would cause me to get sick. And then I got deathly sick, and then I was like, it literally, a light bulb went off. Right. And the sad part is it takes people, and a lot of people that read our websites and blogs and all that, it takes you to get really sick to actually get it to sink in, which is really sad. And I was like, why didn't I learn how to take care of myself in college and high school and all this? Why did I learn all these other things, but I didn't learn about the toxins and really how to raise a healthy body and how to eat and really nourish yourself?
I think that's the bigger point, because I had the same experience where I discovered that food actually was causing my disease, and it was like mind-boggling, because I thought at the time I was eating healthy, but there's, I think that's part of the bigger issue, is that we're not. I mean, whose responsibility is it to teach nutrition, to teach where our food comes from, like how it's made, who touches your food, Well, I mean, we kind of have to learn that on our own. And I mean, I personally just learned about GMOs 3 years ago, not knowing and then what are these GMOs, and then starting to learn more, and then seeing well, how, what's the relationship between our health? But, part of the thing is, if you look at the statistics of our healthcare system, it just, the rates of diabetes and obesity are just, escalating and growing. And so food now has become a main source of disease in our culture, which is just, it's just not right, food should be a source of life. It should be life force, right? It should, nourish us and make us thriving human beings. And so that's we like having these conversations, and, and even talking about, people have these preconceived ideas of vegetables, because that's what I tell people. One of the hardest things to do is to get people to eat more vegetables, because they're like, yeah, I gotta do it, but yeah, ew. And then salad, one of the reasons I never liked salad before is because my image of salad was, the classic iceberg with the one slice of cucumber, the cherry tomato, and a slice of carrot, and then you just throw on a bunch of Thousand Island onto it. And there's just no flavor in that, right? And then when I discovered kale and chard and, baby green, I didn't even know that there was anything outside of iceberg lettuce and spinach, right?
So what's wild, and I think it's heartening is that now in the packaged salad world, the biggest segment now are the little baby greens, the spring mix and the baby spinach and the arugula. Those are outselling the iceberg and the romaine salads, and more than half of those salads are organic. So when you're looking at America, that 4.2% of our food is organic, more than half of the baby greens that are sold are organic. So that's just something that can give us some hope that things can really change.
Well, so that's a great segue into the questions we kind of have set up. So Amy and I kind of thought, it would be kind of cool to talk about salads as a main dish, because typically they're seen as like a side dish or, maybe a snack sometimes. For me personally, like I went vegetarian in February, so which was just kind of a spontaneous thing. I don't know how long it's going to last, but that's been a challenge for me is, how do I integrate more vegetables and how do I integrate salads? And then, the big question, everyone, wow, where are you going to get your protein from, right? Because like, you're not eating meat.
Such a misconception in this country that you need animal flesh or you need dairy to get protein and calcium. Mm-hmm. And that's, in my new book, which I will hold up straight from the earth, Irresistible Vegan Recipes for Everyone. We actually included all the nutritionals because I wanted people to see. I mean, we have a split piece soup that each portion, and I think it's a 1.5 cup, so it's not even a huge bowl, has 23 grams of protein. So there really is plenty of protein in the plant world.
Amazing. Yeah, people don't even realize chia seeds, flax seeds, hemp seeds. I mean, it's so funny. I took a picture when I was traveling recently. I have a million food allergies, and I find a Whole Foods market wherever I am. I was in Birmingham last month. I had, the client drop me off at Whole Foods, and I get back in the car with an avocado and 5 of your, it wasn't the clamshell, it was just the bag, the romaine mix. And I just opened the bag at the top, put my avocado in with salt and pepper and a fork, and I ate my salad because I was starving. And they all started laughing at me, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "You don't get it. Like, when you have food allergies, you literally you will do anything." And I think that's one of the greatest things about your bagged salads. You don't have to wash it. And I'm like, I personally was in that facility and saw the process. It had to go through these crazy things a million times. I'm like, I know it's clean, and it's I don't know what it is. I love buying your romaine hearts, the 3 in the bag. I'm addicted. But your bagged salads, I have to be honest, I don't know what you do to that romaine, but it is so crunchy and fresh. I'm actually almost even more addicted to the pre-cut than the whole because it is Myra, I don't know what you guys do. It's amazing.
Oh, you are so sweet. That's and
I'm really serious here. I have a picture to show you. Like it's so fresh.
That's so great. That's so great to hear. And I do think when Stephanie was talking about how people don't know how to get more vegetables in their lives, I really do think having that convenience of just opening a bag, it's ready to go. It's easy. And you were also talking about Thousand Island dressing, and I grew up with ranch dressing. That's so gross.
Oh yeah. So basically, you're just having some lettuce with your dressing. That's how most people eat their salad.
Yeah, and then they think it's healthy, but it's actually so unhealthy. It's full of calories, and most of those dressings have lots of different preservatives and even artificial flavors. And so I just try and explain to people how easy it is to just get an empty jar. And you can put in just some oil and vinegar, salt and pepper, shake it up, and you have a delicious dressing. Or squeeze a little garlic in there and a little Dijon mustard. And there's also so many different oils and vinegars out there to experiment with. So I think taking that leap and making your own dressings, you realize that it just takes less than a minute to make something delicious that complements your salad so much.
So what are some tips then that we could, what are some tips or ways that we can turn a salad into a main meal, like at dinner time?
Well, I was thinking about you. Well, for me, I usually have salad as a meal for lunch. Just because my husband and I try and eat dinner together every night, and he really wants his entree to be hot. He's someone who can eat lightly all day, and he wants a big dinner. I am sorry, the phone is ringing. You can just pick it up and hang up.
It's okay, there's an emergency.
There's a bunch of girls hanging out, that's all.
Sorry. But so for lunch, and I was thinking about you eating vegetarian but not vegan, what I've been doing constantly now is I sort of do a Greek style salad, but I add garbanzo beans. So I really, now it's really hard for me to open a can and eat canned beans, even though they always used to be fine. But now what I do is I try and really just every 2 or 3 weeks, I'll make some fresh garbanzo beans and I'll freeze a bunch of them in the freezer in Ziploc bags so I can just thaw them quickly in my fridge. And they taste like fresh cooked. And so what I would do, like, I've been doing this constantly, is I'll make a big salad with whatever greens I have in the fridge, and I mix them. I'll have some baby spinach and some baby kale and romaine or spring mix, whatever. I'll just do a big thing of greens. And now I just went to the farmer's market, and they were the first vine-ripe heirloom tomatoes.
Oh, I know. I'm starting to see them. I love. Yeah, my
so a lot of tomatoes and cucumbers, and then I'll put in the garbanzo beans and feta. And then I'll make a dressing with just red wine vinegar, olive oil, some oregano, some garlic, salt, and pepper. And then what I do, because my body needs a lot of protein, is I like to sprinkle on some salted sunflower seeds. I just get, Trader Joe's salted sunflower seeds if I don't have time to make batch, and hemp seeds, which are so high in protein and so filled with the healthy omega-3 fatty acids, and avocado, which is also not a classic Greek salad thing, but avocado and garbanzos and feta is just fabulous. So I can eat that salad every day and not get sick of it.
Yeah, and just mentioning all of that, so that's just a bunch of sources of protein, right? So we have vegetables, we have beans, and nuts. There's other ways to get protein.
Much protein. And if you
know what, Myra?
I'm sorry.
What's so amazing too is you guys just came out with those power bowls. I don't know if anybody's seen them, but they're so cute. They just hit the stores. I actually just saw them in Fairway last week for the first time in Manhattan. But they're these cute, and they're pre-made. So they just say like Earthbound Farm power bowls, and it's salads with all these different mixings in it, and it's literally like a salad to go for an airplane or for your office or whatever.
Yeah, those are so convenient. Those are so convenient, and it's all ready. And you've got the salad greens underneath, and then a little tray sits on top that has your dressings and your toppings, and there's some really cool flavors. So yeah, those are great for people, especially when you don't have time to make something from scratch.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's amazing. So what what kind of unusual ingredients do you usually toss into your salad? Anything, other than the hemp and the beans that you were talking about? Anything unusual that you like?
So if we're trying to do, I don't know if it's unusual, but I really like all the different endives. So I love Belgian endive. And I also like, it's really, really healthy. I love watercress and curly cress, and there's some sort of cress that Whole Foods sells that I don't know what they call it. The roots are on it, and then it comes up and has the little leaves, and it's really delicious. And I love mixing that with endive and radicchio and different lettuces because you get that nice crunch.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's amazing. And do you often, like when you guys have dinner, as a family, are you making your own dressings, or do you usually buy ones from like Whole Foods Market or some other kind of organic brand?
Yeah, no, we make our own dressings. We really do. We have a lot of Myra lemon trees, so we have delicious, lemon juice, Myra lemon juice. So and then I have lots of different vinegars. I always have golden balsamic and regular balsamic, and I have red wine vinegar. I have a red wine vinegar that's actually a Pinot Noir vinegar that tastes a little bit different, and white vinegar and champagne vinegar. So I think if you play with these vinegars, and then olive oils have such different tastes. So you can actually get some variation with different olive oils, but I love nut oils, the toasted walnut oil, toasted pecan oil, toasted hazelnut oils are delicious. And then flaxseed oil is so healthy for you. Amy, do you use flaxseed oil?
I do. I love flaxseed oil. So I use that, and I actually just found a chia seed oil and a hemp oil that I like. So I've been using them, but I mean, a lot of people get confused because they want to cook with it, but I'm always like, you just put it on top of a raw salad or raw veggies or, already cooked veggies. But I do. Flax oil is one of my favorites. It's even great in like a pesto or something,
Yeah, I think it has a great flavor, and I like mixing it with olive oil. So then you get, you get both healthy oils, and then you get the flavor of the olive oil in with the salad.
Yeah. No, definitely. That's great. And I'm not sure if anybody knows this, and I know it's the end of May, but it is salad month. So that's why we decided to, grab Myra for the last, few days of May and chat with her about salads and Earthbound and what they're up to out there in California. So what kind of salad are you guys having tonight for dinner? Or today for lunch, I should say, since you're on the West Coast?
Well, today for lunch, I'm actually going out with some girlfriends, so I'll be eating it. But tonight we're actually, it's really interesting. So I have an empty nest now. My son is 21 and he's off at college, and our daughter's 24. So it's the first time I have an empty nest. And I have to say, one of the things that I love so much about it is there's always enough leftovers for a second meal. The amount that I used to shop and cook and clean and then always have to start again with another meal. So what we did from my new cookbook, the other day we made my baked falafel recipe. It's actually my daughter, Maria. I co-wrote the book with my daughter, Maria. And so it's a baked falafel recipe, and then you make this chopped Greek salad. So you finely chop cucumbers and tomatoes, and then you add some parsley to it, and a nice kind of lemon vinaigrette. And so what I was thinking about is we're going to have that for leftovers, and I thought I would actually serve that with a Greek salad. So so that doesn't have any lettuce in it, the finely chopped part that you put in with the pita, but then I decided this morning that I do a big romaine-based salad with my fresh tomatoes and cucumbers and feta and the Kalamata olives and a red wine with oregano. So that's my plan tonight. What about you?
I love that.
That sounds good.
I'm actually headed out. It's already 3:30 on the East Coast, but after this, I'm headed out because I'm out of vegetables. So I'm headed out up to Fairway to get some of your stuff. But I'm probably going to do something, like you were saying, your broccolette. I remember seeing that being picked right off the fields this spring or this fall when I was out there, and all spring I've been using it. The flavor is unbelievable, and that's even great to toss into salads. People don't realize that you can toss, grilled endive and grilled fennel and grilled broccolette, all these things you can toss. It doesn't have to be a side dish. You can toss those into a salad, and even like a caramelized onion, it actually makes a salad so much more flavorful.
I love that. And I think that's a really good point, is that salads are a great place for leftovers, because you roasted some cauliflower and you have 2 little pieces left, so you throw them in the salad. Or if we make, what I'd love to throw in is our farm stand now has the first of the season fresh corn, and it's really sweet and delicious, and I love to cut in raw corn in my salad, or if I have any leftover cooked corn, I'll cut that in my salad. So really anything, leftover broccolette, even leftover potatoes cut into small pieces, you can do like a vegan niçoise with capers and some cut up potatoes. And so really thinking about a salad as a place to do something really creative and unique and use up little odds and ends in your fridge is a really fun way to think about it.
Yeah, what's interesting here in the Bay Area, a lot of the farmers markets are selling like flowering plants, like flowering chives and flowering snap peas, and I never even realized like how beautiful some of these flowers are with these, with some of these things. Like with chives, you just normally just see skinny, green things, and then they have these beautiful purple flowers. So I've been doing that. Like I'll get like a base of like baby greens, and then toss on top like the flowers that I get from the farmers market, and it looks so pretty. I almost don't want to eat it because it looks so pretty.
I know, I'm the same way.
Yeah, so we have like 5 minutes left, and I know you guys wanted to do a little giveaway.
Yeah, we're gonna do 3 giveaways for them. We have 3. We have a grand prize. So one grand prize winner is gonna win like an organic bound box. So it's gonna have tons of Salad Month goodies, and 2 other people are going to win Myra's cookbook library, which is all 3 of her books. So that's 6 cookbooks total that we're giving away. And I actually have all 3 books, and they're so amazing. And what I love about your cookbooks, too, is that they're not hardcover. They're nice soft cover, so they're so easy to just, use and plop in your kitchen. And they're easy for, a lunch, because I feel like a lot of cookbooks, Myra, for salads, when you're making a lunch, you don't want to bring out this huge, heavy cookbook. But your cookbooks are so nice and easy. They almost scream kind of lunch salad. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, it's true. Because if you have too fancy a cookbook, you sort of feel like it's a coffee table cookbook and you don't want to get it dirty on your counter.
Yeah, no, definitely. So tell me a little bit about the new salads that you guys put out, the Power Bowls. What was your inspiration behind that? Were you trying to, bring the salad from your house into the Power Bowls?
Well, we just wanted to offer people a complete salad that had vegan protein. We saw that a lot of the other salad companies out there were putting out complete salads that had little chunks of turkey and chicken, that had preservatives and just tasted awful. And I just hate to think about, one of the reasons why I wrote a vegan cookbook, not being a vegan, is because I just really want to encourage people to get away from eating factory farmed animal products. And so we just felt like we wanted to offer, people want a filling lunch. They want to know that they're getting their protein, that they're going to be full until dinner time. And so we thought that these were just great combinations of salads that were convenient, ready to go with vegan protein.
Nice. Thank you. We appreciate that.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. Especially for long
question. We have a question here from the event page. So one of the questions is, what salads provide high calcium and vitamin D?
Amy, do you want to take that since you have the nutrition background?
Sure. So I would say definitely spinach. And Earthbound, I actually buy their huge container of the clamp spinach. And it's amazing. I actually eat a lot of it raw, but you can easily just put it right into a big saute pan and saute it with some olive oil and garlic, and it tastes amazing. But I would definitely say spinach is definitely one of the highest, as well as kale. So Earthbound has a great little baby kale, comes in one of the clam packages, and I use that as well. So those are pretty much the highest. But then I always like to put a little bit, arugula is so great and so high in vitamins and minerals. And it's also, it's actually part of the family that goes along with broccoli and cauliflower. People don't really think of it in that family, but it is. So it's actually a great detoxifier. So it really helps cleansing out your liver and everything. So even if you are going to make a salad or, some kind of a dish with your spinach or with the baby kale, I always love to add just a little kick of something, with a little bit of arugula, because I feel like you really want to round out the dish with a few little greens to really get the maximum benefit.
Cool. And one more question. So we're heading into summer. Is Earthbound have any special summer-related salads they're coming out with? Like summer season?
Oh, well, our product development team is actually working on specific summer salads that are just getting rolled out, and information for that should be on our website. But I think what's really nice is that our salad, even though it's so wonderful to eat seasonally and eat locally, and I talked about how corn's ready and tomatoes are ready, I think what's really nice is Earthbound Farm does follow the sun, so that we're growing really the same greens all year round. So somebody like Amy in New York versus Stephanie in California can eat the baby spring mix, the baby arugula, the spinach any time of year. And so our greens are pretty much the same all year round.
Okay, cool. So we have 2 minutes. Do you have any words of wisdom to share with our audience? Any parting words?
Well, one thing I want to say, actually, getting back to that summer question and also words of wisdom, we were talking about putting in grilled vegetables or leftovers. I think one thing we didn't talk about that just came to me a little late in the question answering is putting fresh fruit in our salads. So my new cookbook has this wonderful salad that has raspberries in it. So we have raspberries and avocados and toasted pecans on the spring mix. And so I encourage people not to be afraid of fruit. So in the summer, you can put in raspberries. In the fall, you can put in persimmons or apples or pears. So think about fruit too, and the fruit complements the sweetness complements the tartness of a salad dressing. And sometimes you can use even a little less oil and drop the calories a little bit in your salad when you have that fruit. So I think that's a better answer too for the summer, is as you see these strawberries and raspberries and and even peaches.
Yeah,
grilled peaches on a salad. That sounds fun.
And you know what, too, Myra? This is something that I actually just discovered. Because I've always been looking for organic dried fruit. You guys have the most amazing dried cranberries and mango and raisins. Unbelievable. unbelievable. And if you just take them and even if you just let them sit in a little bit of water for a few minutes, get them nice and plump, if you don't have any fresh fruit, and plop them in your salad. But people don't realize even dried fruits are so highly sprayed with pesticides and chemicals. So buying your organic, the dried fruit right in the little sealable packages, it's such a win-win.
Right. What some people don't understand is, like, say you take raisins, right? So grapes is actually one of the crops that uses a lot of pesticides in the field, but conventional grapes are stored in dry storage, and they're actually fumigated to make sure that they don't spoil and they stay fresh. So organic grapes are actually stored under refrigeration. So when you're getting a conventional grape, you're even getting more pesticides than conventional grapes, more pesticides than even when you compare conventional grapes to organic grapes. So dried fruit organic is a really good choice.
Oh, and yours are the best, those pretty purple packages. I love them. They look great. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I can't thank you enough. I mean, you are like the head of this entire huge, amazing company, and you took like 30 minutes just to chat with us and spread the word about your incredible brand. And personally, Stephanie and I absolutely love your products. They make us feel great, and it's just, you feel good eating it, and the flavor, you just really you can't pass the flavor. I mean, it's kind of the best that's out there.
Yeah, and I appreciate that you do things like TED Talks to really educate, people and like let them know, and then here's things that you can do, because we gotta work on this food system of ours. So it's really great, I mean, Earthbound being the largest organic farm in the country, to help, that you're educating.
Well, thank you, and thank you too, because I think now we're finally getting some critical mass of people that are understanding that our good health and the health of our environment is really dependent on how we produce food and the food we eat. And so you guys are doing such an important job too, and we've got to kind of turn the ship around and have it head in the right direction all together.
Exactly. Well, cool. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming, Myra.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. And we're just going to pick the 3 winners right now. We're going to do Sarah and Kate for the cookbook, and then we're going to pick Jessica for the grand prize winner. So if you want to email us or just shoot us a note right on our Google Plus page, and we will have Earthbound send you out the package. But thank you, everybody, for watching, and thank you, Myra. And we will hopefully talk to you guys soon.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.